Next point it is Sapt and Semindar. The word Semindar, when onwards here in India we started to use. Now when we are saying like that, we can see in some movies, Hindi movies or Tamil movies, we can see that they are calling the Semindar or Sir or Sahab like that, different names. When onwards we started to use here, that we can see. The main source of the income available to the Mughal rulers was tax. Not only the Mughal kings, now also the government is collecting tax, that is the maximum revenue or the getting the money from the people, that is the tax, that is the income of the government. That is our tax according to the produce of the peasantry. What they are producing, if it is cotton or wheat, according to that they want to pay the tax. In most places, peasants paid taxes through the rural elite or the headman or the local chieftain. Means each and every village there was a head person, and I think in Tamil we are calling the Muppan and like that, some traditional words are there, and they was used to call us chieftain or the headman of the village. And the Mughals used to term Semindar. The Mughal emperors used to call them Semindars. For what? Why they are calling like that? To describe them intermediate, means the person who is standing in between king and the peasants. That person is known as the Semindar. Who started to call like that? Mughal emperors. Okay, the Semindar, the word started to use by Mughals, and what it mean? The person who is standing between the king and the peasants or the farmers, whether they were local headmen of the village or a powerful chieftain. Sometimes they are selecting the Semindar as the local head person, the village head, or the person who is powerful in that area, maybe financially or physically powerful according to that. Then Akbar's revenue minister Todar Mal carried out a careful survey of crops, yield, price and areas cultivated for a 10 years. Means every 10 years Akbar's minister, that is revenue minister of Akbar, that is Todar Mal, what he was doing, he was conducting a survey. What are things? Yielding, then price and area of cultivation. And that is 1570 to 1580, that the period what he is taken, that for 10 years time he taken to conduct that survey, or in between he was conducting the survey. On the base of this data or the survey, tax was fixed on the crop in cash. If they are making the crop on that every year, if they are cultivating wheat or rice something, they want to pay tax what on the base of this 10 years survey, what they fixed, that is in cash they want to pay, not in as a kind. And each province was divided into revenue circle with its own schedule of revenue rate of individual crop. And now also we can see the this is India, and it is the central government, and every area, each and every area, it is divided into different states. States again divided into taluks according to the revenue. If you are thinking about revenue, central government, central revenue department is there, then state revenue department is there, then we can see taluks in talukas or taluks in a local level, that is the local person who is collecting the tax. In the same way they also had the each provinces, again means the country was divided into different provinces, again that provinces is divided into revenue circle. In our nowadays we are calling it talukas, and that revenue and each and every revenue circle they are having a schedule of revenue rate. Means the area, if it is desert area, there cropping may be different, there means the amount how much they want to spend for cultivation, that may be different. That according to that they are fixing the rate, and that is for individual crop. If in the monsoon crop or the winter crop, according to that different crop, according to the crop they want to pay the revenue, that is fixed by taking the 10 years according to the 10 years survey. And this revenue system was known as SAP. ZABT, Zabt. The revenue system of the Mughals, that is known as Zabt, means it is divided. This is the total nation, and it is divided into different provinces, and each province again divided into revenue circle, or we can say revenue circle, or nowadays we are calling it taluks, and each and every taluks having its own revenue schedule according to individual crop, and this system is known as Zabt. If you are getting question like that, define Zabt, or what do you mean by Zabt, then you want to write all these things from what all things. The revenue fixed by the revenue on the base of 10 years data. The revenue minister, he is fixed the revenue on each crop in cash, and each province was divided into revenue circle, and with its own schedule of revenue rate for individual crop. This revenue system was known as Zabt, and it was prevalent in those areas where Mughal administrators could survey the land and keep very careful accounts. Wherever they done, in which part they can conduct the survey, in that areas they made it, and some area it was impossible because they can't reach to that for every year survey and other things. For example, the west side Gujarat and east side Bengal, like that. Sorry, east side Gujarat and west side Bengal, like that the extreme side they can reach. In some areas, zamindars exercised the great deal of power. The exploitation of Mughal administrators could drive them to rebellion. In some area, the zamindars, they was controlling the people, they was collecting the revenue. Then how much they are collecting, they may not given to the Mughal emperors, especially in the time of Jahangir and Aurangzeb and other people. That time what they done, the common people, the peasants, they started to rebel against, started revolution against the Mughal administrators. Sometimes zamindars and peasants at the same caste allied to rebelling against the Mughal authority. If the zamindar and the people of that area, if they are from the same caste, then also they used to rebel against the Mughal authority. These peasant revolt challenged the stability of the Mughal emperor from the end of the 17th century. Means after Akbar, we can see the slowly it started to the kings, those who came after Shah Jahan and other kings, they started to exploit the people in maximum. So the people started to rebel against the king, and sometimes zamindars directly they are rebelling to the king. We can see the picture of here what it is given, the details from a miniature of Shah Jahan's reign depicting corruption in his father's administration. A corrupt officer receiving a bribe. The correcting officer, he is receiving bribe, and a tax collector punishing poor peasant. The person who can't pay the money, then also he is punishing the farmers who is doing work for the tax collector. And it is in the time of Shah Jahan, just the son of Akbar, and in Akbar's time people was living very peacefully. So what all things we discussed today, the one is Mansabdar, next one is Jagirdar, next thing that is Zabt, and next one it is zamindar. So all these are the ranks or positions of the people for the administration according to the Mughal kings. Okay, we'll continue in next